All right, guys, so it's review time. Today I have the Traxx Bluetooth Shiba True Wireless Earbuds and Charging Case. And like the price you see here, this is a Five Below product like usual. It is $8, so the prices will vary over time, probably because sometimes they do 50% off sales on certain products. But for right now, these are fairly new. They have different designs of different little cartoon characters. But today we got the little, I don't know what this is. I think it's a cat. But anyway, let's unbox this bad boy and see if it's worth actually purchasing at Five Below. So oddly enough, right here are the tech specifications. We're looking at Bluetooth 5.0, the typical 33 feet, which is normal for most Bluetooths, up to 10 hours of battery life. You get a 3-hour charge time to charge up the actual case in a headset. Right here, I'm not even going to talk about the drivers is 10mm and the port is USB-C. So for you guys that are Android users and you have a up-to-date or at least within the last couple years an Android phone, they're all USB-C, so you can just use your regular charger. But unfortunately for Apple users, you are going to have a USB-C cable, which this should come with one technically inside the box. So with that being said, let's go ahead and unbox this guy right here. I figured, you know what, I might as well just get the tech specs out of the way. Oh, forgot, I already cut it open. Totally forgot. So right here, oh, just so you know, what is it called? Description. Hit the description. It'll show the actual timestamps if you want to skip to a particular part. Kind of forget to say that from time to time, but it is what it is. All right, so right here, we have the USB-C, I'm about to call it headphone, charging cable. Now this is pathetically small. Like normally when you go to different companies, they give you at least probably about a 3-foot cord at least. Man, this thing isn't even a foot. I guess you can say this is about, I don't know, 3 inches, 4 inches. It's a very, very small cord. It's actually very mediocre. To be honest, even if you have a PC setup, this cord is so small that the headset is going to be dangling from the actual case itself. So if you have your own USB-C cable, just go ahead and use that. It's always better to do that. Right here, we do have the headset itself, which is pretty simplistic to open. If I shake it, all right, cool. It looks like it stays closed because of the matting on its own, so that's a good thing. I'll do another shake test as soon as I put it inside the case, of course. Now, these do not have any type of rubber tips whatsoever because, as you can see, they're open ear design. So it has that kind of generic AirPod look. Like a lot of headphones use that generic look that AirPods have, where you have this right here, the little speaker grill inside. This is where I'm assuming this is where the sound is coming from. I'm assuming that this is what you hear when you have it in your ear. Of course, I'm not sure where the actual microphone is per se, but these do have microphones built into them. So here are the 2 earbuds right here. Because it has that 10-hour battery life, my assumption is that this probably lasts for about 2 to 3 hours per charge. So you're not going to get much. But for the people out there that just use headphones for typically just talking, occasional phone calls, occasional web browsing, things like that, not everybody is like me, where they got to have necessarily a highest headphones for call quality, battery life, things like that. Sometimes you just want something that can do the bare minimum for you. And we will, well, I can't even tell you this does the bare minimum yet. But after the review, you'll know and we'll both know together in real time, like, is this actually worthwhile? So again, USB-C is on the bottom. For you guys that like this little design, like I said, they have many different kinds at Five Below where it's like different animal shapes. So I do think this is going to be popular with the kiddies personally, especially during the holiday seasons. It'll be something that they can just pop in their ear real fast if they're using a cheap tablet or even an iPad. It doesn't matter. You got to understand that even if you're using a $1,000 phone, it doesn't change the fact that as long as the quality is decent, you have nothing to worry about. So that's pretty much it for the headset itself right here. Let me just go ahead and pull up this booklet. Like I said, it just show you what it does when you charge it, things like that. Pretty self-explanatory. To be honest, you don't really need this booklet for anything outside of, it does show you the Bluetooth pairing method and the playback controls. So if you look at this right here, I'm just gonna go ahead and leave this open for you guys so you can see it, just in case someone lost this charger. Just in case you lost the instructions or you was given this for free. Now you know how to actually power it on, how to sync it, things like that. Just go ahead and pause the video if you need to look at these instructions. So with that being said, I'm going to show you guys how to sync them in real time. and then we're going to do a music test. Of course, the usual call quality test, and then we'll close up the video. So, as for syncing, I have my trusty Moto G Stylus 5G. Now, for you guys that are watching this video and wondering, oh, Ian, why do you have a Moto? Well, I actually ended up getting the iPhone 14 Plus. It was actually for my wife, believe it or not. And it was not magenta, but it was like lavender. I would never get a lavender color for myself. And unfortunately, that's what they had. Got my wife a case and everything. And it turns out she prefers her Android. So, you know, I have an iPhone 14. That's what's recording. If you notice that the recording quality is substantially better than the last couple of videos that I did, it's because it's using an iPhone 14. The last couple of videos I was using this. In the Motorola video, I was using the N20 5G for recording. So, you know, you get what you get with the quality of those cameras. But I'm back to high end. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and go to Bluetooth for this guy right here. First, I'm going to open up the case. Now, normally there's two ways to sync it. One is popping a case open. Some headsets let you do that, where if you go to the case and you just go to pair new device, the case automatically syncs for you. I don't think this one does, personally. I think you have to take these out of the case. So just waiting for it to see if it could find anything. It looks like it can't. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and take them both out of the case so that they can sync to each other. As you can see, right here, they're blinking. So one sync to the one side, look like the right side sync to the left, however they do it. I don't know if this has a primary error or not, left or right, but we're going to check that too in a moment. All right, so with that being said, I'm just going to go ahead and put it back in the syncing process. And it looks like this might be called the Traxx Char TWS. Oh, yeah, that's what it's called. As a matter of fact, if you look at the instructions right here, Traxx Char TWS. I definitely wasn't expecting that name, but that's the name of the headset. All right, just going to go ahead and allow it. Now, if you're using an Apple device, when you tap on sync, it's going to sync automatically. It's not going to ask you any questions. Android devices are typically the ones that ask you, hey, do you want to sync this to your contacts? Do you want to do this? That's more of an Android thing. But they sync. The process is very simple. If you're an Apple user, it's going to be the exact same process of, what's it called? Help me out here, guys. It's going to be the same exact process of just taking them out of the case and syncing them. A very easy one-step process. You have nothing to worry about. So with that being said, let's go ahead and go into the next section. We're going to listen to a little bit of music, and I can let you know how it sounds in real time. So as for the music aspect, I already have a selection of songs that I'm going to listen to. It's not music that I made this time. It's just real music. But of course, it's going to be played in my ear, so you don't have to worry about YouTube trying to copyright some videos. All right, so let's go ahead to the audio section right here. All right. Put these in the ear right now. And like I said before, we're going to go ahead and do that test that I talked about, where if you put one inside the case with the other one connected and things like that. And I'm sure you guys want to know. All right, so as soon as I put these in my ear, it says connected. It says just like that. It's a little woman's voice. So that's how you'll know it's connected. You'll hear the woman's voice. So let's go ahead and play some Astronaut in the Ocean. Boom, boom. All right, I'll wait for the beat to drop, and then we're going to really listen to the bass and just the music in general. But so far, it doesn't sound that great. Ooh. Okay. Boom, 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 boom. Then down in the Okay. I'm not even gonna turn these up. That is a reason why I won't. I'll explain to you guys in a second. Okay. So I got enough to tell you how these sound. And I don't even need to go through a sound profile. I'm not going to go through everything that's on this phone is factory reset because I'm actually selling the phone. And what happened is there's no bass booster, there's no additives, there's no equalizer helping out these headphones. So let me tell you what I think of these. If we're talking about, honestly, when I say this is going to kind of sell this product or solidify whether you buy it or not for some people that watch this channel. The music quality, I can't imagine the call quality being any better than the music quality. Let me explain why. There is virtually no bass with these headphones. Now, again, for you bass heads out there, you can find very cheap headphones in the $20 category, sometimes even cheaper, $14.99, things like that, that have very decent bass. There are even products at Five Below that was $10 that had amazing bass. Maybe not battery life, but amazing bass. These don't have that. The bass is very mediocre. Now, when the astronaut, actually I almost got the words wrong in the song. I'm glad I didn't sing along. But Astronaut in the Ocean, right? In that song, when a song first starts, let me give you a little melody. It's like, do, 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 do. It's a little, the version I have is the one that's the actual music video. So it's a little bit more, like it's a few seconds longer than the official audio one, right? That you would get on Spotify or something. The sound was very crackly. Now, keep in mind, this headset is not all the way up to the top. It's not. I refuse to do that to myself. I refuse to turn it up and sacrifice my ears because, number one, it was very shoddy. It sounds like it's breaking up and crackling, kind of. Even though the headset wasn't crackling, you can tell that it's struggling to play any of the music at a lower volume, by the way. So if it's struggling at a lower volume, if you turn it up, it's just going to give you earaches. I already have, in a sense, kind of like a headache right now, just from listening to these from the first, I want to say 30 seconds, however long that was. It's a headache. Like, it felt like the screeching noises, which is like a banshee screaming in your ear. It didn't feel like quality of music. It sounds very, very terrible. What I mean by that is so terrible, in fact, that I'm conscious to say that a Five Below headset, remember the old corded headsets from Five Below you used to get that had like average quality? Those outperform this headset by far. These don't sound good at all. It was like when I listened to the instruments being played in the song, it just didn't sound good. Like, it didn't sound like how the music intended. Obviously, most headphones don't, so, I'm not going to throw that metric out there. But when I compare these to, let's say, the most generic headphones I've done on the channel, it's substantially worse than those in terms of sound quality. I cannot stress enough that if you're a music lover of any kind, you cannot use these headphones and say to yourself, wow, these are really good, or these will hold me over. To me, again, and I'm doing this based on Five Below standards. I'm not comparing it to AirPods. I'm not comparing it to Anchors. I'm not even comparing it to J-Labs, for God's sake. These are terrible. They're terrible headphones in terms of music quality. Like, I don't even want to use it for a podcast because, if I'm listening to a podcast where people are talking loud, yelling, screaming, laughing, things like that, air horns, because it can't handle music, imagine how the uneven speaker of a microphone is going to sound when watching YouTube videos. What I mean by that is, I had to use this example for you guys. There's times where I'm on a YouTube video on my second channel, and sometimes the microphone shoots, like I can speak too closely to the microphone, and you hear like not stutter, but it's like a loud like pop noise, like it's a blotch, because I'm talking too loud into the speaker. This will make your ears explode. Listen to that. Because when the song first started, the melody is actually pretty low, but I felt breakage, like a breakage noise, like that, kind of like a stutter in the headset before the beat dropped. And then after the beat dropped, even though I could hear all the music, I could hear the instruments, they don't really differentiate yourself. Like, there's nothing that stands out because these headphones don't have the quality of sound to make it stand out. Now, and again, I understand that it's Five Below, so I'm not chalking it. I understand. Let me just put it that way. I understand it's Five Below. So when you see this review, you have to understand that I'm comparing this to other Five Below headphones, stuff like this. I'm comparing it to things like this. I'm comparing it to other headphones like these. They are all Five Below headphones, and all the headphones that I just showed you, even over the air or earbud, have better sound than this headset for the same exact price. And what makes it weird is that, I've done other Traxx headsets before in the past, and they tend to sound better than this. This is mediocre, to be honest with you. And not to be mean, but I remember FYE sold headphones like these for $20, $30. I can understand why they're out of business, or why there's only a couple locations left, because it's like they had the most mediocre products, and they were selling it for regular price. Like you can go to Best Buy and buy a actual name brand. Like this makes JVC look godly, if we're being honest here. But anyway, let's go ahead to the next section. I think I bashed them enough. I'm just going to show you guys how they look in the ear. I'm not even going to do I'm not even going to disrespect myself to do a voice recording because I don't have any faith in these. Like the fact that the sound is that bad initially, I can't imagine the voice being any better. And I can't imagine listening to people speak to you is going to sound any better. It's going to, like, if they're loud, speaking to their phone, speakerphone, different volume, like different things going on in the background. I can imagine the headaches that are coming from using these. But anyway, let's hop on to the next section. All right, guys. So right here, this is how the headset looks. As you can see, very simplistic, very easy to use. Just pop them right in and just twist. Now, for some people, you might have them sitting straight like so. Me personally, I twist my headphones in because I actually ride a scooter to work. I'm always on a bike, so I got to make sure that they stay sturdy in the ear. Now, what I will say about these is that, I'll be honest with you, there's no chance in hell that I would ever use these headphones in real time. Like, I'm not taking these outside. The sound profile sounds so awful indoors that I already know that I'm not willing to turn these up just so that I can suffer for the sake of a review. I don't suggest these, if we're being honest here. But let's go ahead and close off this video, and I'll give you, the last synopsis on how I feel about these headphones. So like I was saying before with this product, they're cool. It's a cool looking product, believe it or not. Let me tell you about the good before I already told you about the bad, but I'm going to reiterate the bad only because some people skip certain parts about, is it worth buying? And they just want to know right away. So if we're talking about physical aesthetics, this actually is I like the case. Now, it's not about the little kitty face, the case on it. It's more of a situation where it's just a sturdy case, where when I mean sturdy is that it's small, it fits in a pocket, it's easy to carry, it's not ugly to look at, it's aesthetically pleasing to people that like characters like this. Now, outside of that, the battery life is mediocre. The sound quality is god-awful. And let me go back over what I talked about before about the sound quality. It was breaking up, crackling. Even though I said earlier in the video it wasn't crackling, no, it was crackling. Because when I did some more recording sections on this, I tried it again just to be safe. I turned it up. It felt awful. It gave me a headache, actually. And even though it's a Five Below product and people are like, well, it's only $5 or $8, whatever it is. No. You have to understand that I do reviews on a lot of Five Below products. And this is one of the few ones where it's just like, I would just throw this in the trash. Like, to be honest, I'm not giving this to a kid. And let me explain why I would not buy this for a Christmas gift or a holiday gift for anyone. Sometimes you just want something that's cheap, easy, that won't hurt your pocket. And if you're buying it for someone, the other person, depending who they are, what kind of person they are, they're just going to appreciate what it is that you give them, right? I wouldn't appreciate this. I would think that the person that gave this to me hated me if they gave this to me. The sound quality is hot garbage mediocre. And even though I didn't record it, I did call my wife on these and she laughed at the call quality. This is not a good product at all. Now, normally Traxx, they do make better stuff. But again, this right here has a terrible sound profile. I cannot stress enough how bad it is. And normally, when I first started YouTube, I used to bash products. I try not to do that anymore because, it's different strokes for different folks. And this, I don't know who would want this. Now, again, if you go to a Five Below store and this is your first pair of TWS wireless headphones, you may say, oh, it's not that bad. Okay, but the quality that you normally get in regular corded headphones, even if they're non-name brand, tend to be better than this one at the price point. And I'm going based on this price point. Now, again, if you say, Ian, well, they're wireless, so you know that wireless, sometimes there's sacrifices. That is true with cheaper prices, cheaper products, especially when they're making something for a cash grab rather than actually quality control. That's what this is, a cash grab. Not saying that's what Five Below doing, but I'm saying that's what the company that created it did. They knew good and well that this was garbage. Because normally with these type of Five Below headsets, they're not USB-C. Normally they're micro USB, but at least they have some type of quality of sound that we care about. These are USB-C, they got that right. The case is small, they got that right. The headset is not uncomfortable, they got that right. Everything they got right except for the call quality and the sound profile, and that's what you need. I'm even willing to deal with the 2-hour, 2.5-hour battery life. Then you got to throw it back in the case because with the case and with the headset, it's a total of 10 hours. And no, I was not willing to use these in my ear for that amount of time to figure out if it's only a 3-hour charge. Normally it's about 3.5 hours probably, or at least 2-hour charge, 4 times or 5 times, whatever. Once the case is depleted, you have to charge it up. Now, again, this is all I can say. When I compare these to other products, like I showed in the video, I compared them to these, which are better, but they're not high end. I compared them to these, which are better. I compared them to these, which are over the head, which are better. A lot of headphones, even at Five Below at that price point, sound substantially better than these. And if at the end of the day, they're all Five Below products. They're all $7 to $10 anyway. So it's not a situation where I'm trying to compare these to AirPods or Anchors. I didn't do that at all in these videos, and normally I do to show you, you know, the spectrum of where these headphones are. There's no reason to even do that because these headphones are the devil. If put it this way, if you're a religious person and you buy these headphones, God bless your soul, because this is wrong. Now, if you buy them not knowing, I totally understand. I'm just joking, of course. But if you buy them not knowing, I totally understand. You're not going to know whether this is an ideal product for a kid or anything, because there's no way to know until you buy it and test it. And that's the problem with headphones. You do not know how good they are until you personally make the sacrifice to spend your hard-earned money. And this right here is absolute garbage. I cannot stress that enough. These are some of the worst headphones I've come across in a very long time at Five Below. And I'm talking about within probably a year and a half time. They're terrible. They're not good. They're not good at all. So, you know, with that being said, if you still buy them, by all means, buy them. If you like them, please get them. Get them for yourself. Get them for someone else. They're going to like the way they look. If it's for a younger child that's never had headphones, again, the reason why I'm saying I would not buy this for a younger child is because the sound, children listen to anything. I mean, children eat a ball of candy and don't think anything of their teeth. So it's really up to the adults to take care of them. And with these, they tend to, like when I'm listening to it, it's so painful to listen to in the ear, especially if you turn it up, because the music quality just suffers so much that I can't imagine this not damaging a young child's head. That's all I'm saying. But anyway, like always, like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video where hopefully the next Five Below product that I talk about isn't as terrible as this one.